What is up, you guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, I thought I would record me applying acrylic nails at home. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and let's just go ahead and get into the video. Alright y'all, so the first thing that I'm doing is just going in with a 180 sanding band. I got this off of Amazon. They actually came in two like different little big baggies. I forgot how much they were, but if I do find them, I'll make sure to link them in the description box below. But what I'm just doing now is just going in and just removing all the shine off of my natural nails. And you guys, when I'm doing this, I'm going from sidewall to sidewall. You don't want to go too hard or have your drill at a very fast speed. As you can see, I just adjusted mine down to the very lowest that this drill goes, just because you want to be very gentle when doing this. You don't want to go too fast and have the drill kind of like get caught under your finger, or you don't want to cause any damage to your nail bed. So you just want to make sure whenever you're doing this to be very gentle. As you guys can see, I'm doing my left hand right now, and it is kind of a struggle for me to do my left hand whenever I am going in like with my e-file. So I'm just very slow at doing my left hand. I'm pretty sure I'm probably not the only one who struggles with doing their left hand, but I'm just very trying to go in there and going very slow. That way I don't try to cut myself. And you guys, I just want to say that this video is sped up. I didn't want to upload an hour-and-a-half video, so I did have to speed it up quite a bit. Obviously, this is not the speed that I was actually going when I was actually doing my nails, but I did have to speed it up quite a bit. That way the video would be a little bit shorter. Alright you guys, so I'm going in now applying the nail tips. As you guys could see, I'm using the Kiss glue. This glue works really good, and honestly it's really just my go-to glue. I don't have any problems with it. I am going in and we're about to start applying our nail tips. And when you're doing this, you guys, you just want to make sure that the nails fit perfectly. You don't want them too big or too small, because you don't want your nails to pop off or for them to break easily. So you just want to be very careful whenever you are applying the tips, just to make sure that they do fit from sidewall to sidewall. And as you can see now, you guys, I'm just going in and just measuring them, just making sure that all of the nails match perfectly. I already cut them to the length that I want. I also use, you guys, I know that there's a tip cutter. I actually have one, but I actually don't like using the tip cutter. I'm not sure why. I just feel like I just get a perfect square shape whenever I use the clipper that's just like a straight edge clipper. So yeah. And now I'm just going in and just trimming off the sides just so I can get that perfect coffin shape. And then whenever I go to file, I don't have to file too much. And this is also going to eliminate time. I've never seen anybody just really create the shape without doing this step. I'm pretty sure you can. But it just helps whenever you go to file your nails. It'll just be a lot quicker and a lot easier whenever you do have to go in and file into that coffin shape. And you guys, as you can see, I'm filing a lot. This is just because I just want my nails super square and kind of narrow into that coffin shape. So I just like to take my time whenever I do my nails by myself, just because I want them to be perfect. Alrighty, you guys, so now I'm just cleaning up my area. I'm gonna go ahead and get started with the acrylic application. As you can see, I'm using these thick paper towels. They're like literally the best, and they're really, really good for absorbing like the acrylic, like the monomer. So I'm using the Mia Secret, as you guys can see in the video, the liquid monomer and the Mia Secret clear. And then this is actually a custom powder, a custom pink powder that I actually just mixed up by myself. And then I'm using the Young Nail nail prep. Now this stuff is actually really, really good, you guys. I actually used to use the nail prep and prime by Mia Secret, and I actually was having a lot of issues with lifting. Like a day or two later, I feel like my nails would start to lift. I did read a lot of good reviews on the Young Nail Protein Bond, and I really, really like it. Ever since I've switched over, I haven't had any issues with it. But yeah, anyway, as you guys can see, the first brush that I actually pulled out is actually my go-to. That's the newest brush that I actually just bought. I believe it's in a size 10. I'm not sure if it's crimped or ovaled. I'll be sure to see if I can pull it up and link it in the description box below. But I actually realized that I had left some acrylic actually on the brush, and now it was stuck to the bristle hairs. Don't do that. So now I actually have to switch over to my number size 8, and I actually started using this when I started doing nails in the beginning. I actually like it, but I feel like I can apply a lot more acrylic with my number 10 brush. So if that's something that you guys are struggling with, applying, you're not applying enough acrylic, or you're not grabbing too much, or you feel like you're grabbing too less, I would recommend switching over to a bigger size brush, because it's going to save time and it is going to help whenever you do have to go in and apply acrylic. You're not going to be sitting there applying, you know, so much acrylic onto one nail, like you guys will see me doing in this video with this brush. And you guys, I actually haven't found like what works for me just yet. I want to say I've been doing my nails for at least maybe like 4 months, and to be honest, you guys, I'm still trying to learn how many beads that I need to apply onto my nail tips. I'm still struggling. Normally I kind of just go with whatever first comes to mind, whatever works for me. I would say probably I use about 3 beads, if maybe 4, just in case that my acrylic is a little bit too thin whenever I'm going in and applying it. So really, you guys, it's just really just a learning process. I'm still learning. I'm still a beginner at this, so yeah. So you guys, normally I'll have like 2 different methods that I do, depending on, honestly, like I feel like whenever I feel like doing a certain method, to be honest. I know that probably doesn't make sense, but sometimes what I'll do is I'll go in and apply that first bead closer to the cuticle area, and then just brush down and then build up from there. Or what I'll do is I'll start with the first bead like right in the middle where the natural nail and the tip meets, and then I'll build my bead like that. So really, honestly, you guys, it really just depends. Like I said, I'm still a beginner, so I'm still learning what works for me. What may work for me may not work for you, but I just wanted to share with you guys on how I apply my acrylic nails at home. Like I said, I'm still learning to apply the beads. I actually feel like I've gotten a little bit better. I'm not even gonna lie. When I first started, I was kind of like, okay, how do I do this? But obviously practice makes perfect. So if you guys are struggling and you're a beginner like me, then just keep on trying, keep practicing, and you'll get better. Another thing that I want to mention that I am doing as well, whenever you do go in to use any type of cover powders or any type of colored acrylic powder, you want to make sure to encapsulate it with a clear or just like a very, very translucent acrylic powder, just because when you go into file afterwards, you're not filing away any of that color. So as you guys can see on some of my nails, I'm using some glitter powder. I actually got this glitter powder from, I think, Nail Supply Glamour. I'll be sure to link it in the description box below. I really like that powder. I got two different ones, but the one that I'm using is called Poppin', and it's a really pretty glitter. And as you guys can see, you guys, my son is actually sitting right next to me, and so he brought his little birthday candle up to me that he got, because he'll be too soon. So if you guys see any movement, that's just him in the background just doing what he does best. So but yeah, so back to the video. As you guys can see, I'm just going in and applying the pink. Well, first I actually applied the clear powder, just a very, very thin layer. Then I go in with my pink powder, and then I just go in and apply the clear powder over that. That way, when I go into file at the end, I'm not filing away any of that pink acrylic powder. Another thing that I want to mention, you guys, is also you want to make sure to encapsulate any type of glitter that you're using, any type of nail art, anything that if you go into file afterwards, you feel like it's gonna like come off with the file, whether it's a hand file or e-file. You just want to make sure to go in and encapsulate that. That way when you do go to file, you're not filing that away. So with the glitter that I'm using as well, I go in with a thin layer of the Clear Me a Secret powder. I go in with the glitter, and then I top it again with the clear powder, just to make sure I'm not filing any of that product away at the end. And you guys, also, as you can see, I had to end up going in and removing my band-aid. Now, I actually had cut myself like a few days ago, and I was actually clean. I had just cleaned it with peroxide and all of that good stuff, but what I had to do was remove that because it was actually getting in the way of me applying my acrylic powder. So yeah, so I just had to remove that just because I wasn't able to apply it, and plus like the little fibers from like the band-aid were kind of like getting into the wet acrylic that I was applying. So another thing that I wanted to mention to you guys is I actually only used one like little small thing of the monomer in my dapping dish on both nails. So when I actually first started doing nails, I actually used to use at least maybe like 1.5 or like 2 little things of the liquid in my dapping dish. So I actually am getting a lot better and a lot faster and efficient when I apply my acrylic, and being mindful of how much that I'm actually using, and when I'm dipping it into the liquid, dipping my brush into the liquid. So I've actually only had to use one little, or whenever you pour the liquid into the dapping dish, that's all I had to use. So I ended up only having to use just one of those, so which is really great, because I feel like before I was kind of like using a little bit too much liquid, but now I'm actually getting to the point where I'm actually knowing how much that I need to apply. And y'all, as you guys can see, I am on to my left hand. I'm actually almost done. Now, let me just say that I am still struggling with doing my left hand, as I'm pretty sure everyone does, you know, when that's not their dominant hand. So it's something that I'm getting used to and I'm getting better at. So yeah, so it does take a little bit of practice to do it. I feel like I don't go as fast when I do my right hand, but it is, you know, something that I'll get better at as time goes, and as I keep practicing doing it just on me. So normally when I do nails, you guys, I do my own, and I'll do like family and like close friends, just to get like some practice in before I actually start doing them on actual clients. Another thing that you want to do, you guys, is make sure to look at your nails from different angles just to make sure that there's no bumps and lumps in them, and that like your apex and stuff like that at the nail tips, one is not more thicker than the other, or if you have like little dips in your nails. I have been struggling with this, you guys. I feel like some sets that I do on myself are really good and I get a really smooth application, and then some sets that I do, I feel like I do on some of my nails, not all of them, but I will notice like little bumps and lumps in my nails, and I'm just still trying to practice on what I can do better to avoid that from happening. So it is really important for you to just look at your nails from different angles just to make sure that you are getting a smooth application. But like I said before, you know, practice makes perfect, and the better you keep doing it and the most that you keep practicing, you will get better at each set that you do. Luckily, this set came out really smooth. So I'm actually really glad that they came out really good, very smooth. Whenever I went in to file them, just like around my cuticle area and just like around the whole nail, I really feel like I didn't have to do that even, but I just did it just because I'm starting to just get myself into that routine of doing it. So yeah, so this set actually came out really good. I didn't have any bumps and lumps in them, but I will mention that I did actually have to apply a little bit more acrylic than what I actually was used to, just because how I had mentioned in the beginning, I'm using my number 8 brush, and this I feel like doesn't pick up as much powder. So with my number 10 brush, I feel like I could have applied this a little bit more faster and efficient, and I still would have probably got a very smooth application, but I feel like using a smaller brush, it took me a little bit more time than what I was actually used to. Another thing, when you're going in and applying acrylic, you want to make sure to get as close to the cuticle as possible. However, you don't want to put acrylic on your actual cuticle area. As you can see, that I go in on every nail and just make sure that I clean around the cuticle area, just to make sure that if I do actually get some either on the outside of my cuticle area or two like on top of my cuticle area, that I go in with my brush and just clean around that, because if you don't, then you will get lifting, and you don't want that acrylic to just sit on your cuticle area, because first of all, it doesn't look good, and like I said before, you'll end up getting lifting. So you just want to make sure to go in after you've applied the acrylic. Don't let it dry. You just want to make sure to go in right away and clean up your cuticle area if you do get some acrylic on your cuticle area. Okay guys, so now that we're all finished, you just want to go in and make sure that your brush is clean, and make sure that nothing is sticking to your brush. I actually recorded me filing around my cuticle area, you guys, but my camera actually literally cut off in the middle of that. So I do apologize that that is not going to be in the video, but I did go in and just smooth out my nails. Now what I'm doing is I'm just going in and applying my gel top coat to each nail and curing it for 60 seconds. Alrighty, you guys, so they came out super pretty, super pink, just how I like my nails. Let me know if you guys like this video. Go ahead and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Give this a big thumbs up, and let me know if you guys would want more videos like this. That way I'll be able to record more for you guys. But I will see you guys in my next video.